Hariam everyone, welcome to this class on the basics of Sanatana Dharma. We are looking at sadhana. We saw one class earlier and today we'll do the second class on the same aspect. And if possible, if you can spare some time, we can try and do some meditation towards the end. If you can spare another 10 minutes, then we might go for it. So we'll start with the chanting first. I'll share this on the screen. You can chant at your hand. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Okay, so we are looking at the basics of Sanatana Dharma, and in the last class we had a look in at the sadhana that is to be followed for the attainment of a stable mind, a mind that can go into meditation readily and instantly, and the one that can utilize that state of meditation to be most effective in every sphere of life, to be calm and present and be able to think right whenever the situation arises, right? So we looked at the meditation from the Vedantic viewpoint, the preparatory mind, the adhikari, which we saw in earlier Tattva Bodha also. See, we saw that in respect to sadhana over here. We saw that how sadhana can be benefited by that. So I just recap a bit of that, what we saw earlier. So if we saw that we have to have the initial qualities of Vivek, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam, and the Sadhan Shat Sampatti, Shama, Dama, Uprati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhanam. So we have to have, the first condition was Vivek. We have to discriminate. So the knowledge should be heard by us somewhere, जिसको हम श्रवण भी कहते हैं, what we call श्रवणम, right? So that Vivek has to be done. And then Vairagya. So through that knowledge, we develop a grip over ourselves. We develop and we give up any kind of attraction to the objects around us. We learn to enjoy them without being tied down by them, right? So that Vairagya helps us to reach that stage where none of the objects of the world can bind us down to this world, because my nature is infinite, the nature of Atma. So that nature has to be understood, imbibed, and accepted, right? So in this way, we have to make that Vairagya a part of our being. And of course, Mumukshutvam is next, which you can include earlier also, the burning desire for liberation. Because once Vairagya comes, then you have the feeling that the worldly objects can no longer tie you down. So I seek to establish myself in my highest nature, that is moksha, mumukshutvam. So I seek liberation, I seek the highest freedom, I seek the reaching for that position of highest satisfaction, right? So this mumukshutvam has then to be converted into a daily practice by the sadhan shad sampatti, the sadhanas. So shama, controlling of the mind; dhamma, controlling the sense organs; uparati, rising above the objects of the world; titiksha, learning to bear the ups and downs of the world; sukha, dukkha, and as well as shita, ushna. We saw the definition. So all the physical ups and downs and all the mental ups and downs that we have to learn to bear with a calmness, with samatvam, with forbearance, so that they don't disturb our mind when we are reaching for that highest meditative state. Because otherwise, that knowledge will not become still. And then Shraddha of total faith in the Shastra and the Gurus, so that I am more positive towards the material that I'm going to study. I'm more positive that by imbibing it, it will be beneficial for me. And then Samadhanam, the final establishment of myself in that state. Samadhanam is where you it is said the definition is Swadharma Anushtanam. So I be established in whatever be my duty in this world without getting bogged by the ups and downs of this world. So in this way, I have established myself towards a state of meditation. Now there are different sadhanas, different methods by which this thing is being is given to us by our shastras. So we discussed for that the system of yoga also, yoga, the Ashtanga yoga. So it is not possible to cover the whole sphere of yoga, but we will try to cover in short how we can make it a part of our being, right? So like we say that the state of meditation has to be achieved, right? So in that, this state of meditation is not something that should go towards blankness. It should not go towards any kind of negative output, right? So that output has to be positive, right? Blankness means what? Nothingness. So I am not nothing. No, I can constantly experience that I am knowing something. I am a knower, and I am also constantly experiencing that I exist. So I do not exist is never a possibility. So blankness can only lead to it can only be a pathway. Blankness can be a pathway towards being uh, calm in my thought, towards not moving forward in my thoughts, so that the thoughts don't disturb me. But ultimately, I have to remember that if I don't settle my mind in that state of highness, highest thought of my true nature, unless I understand my true nature and I establish myself in that true nature, that thought has to be understood to be something that has a positive connotation, right? हमें अपने स्वरूप में स्थित होना है, ना कि भाग जाना है. Because if we go to total blankness, if we go to the total blank state of mind, then when we come back, the thoughts will come rushing back. It will not be any different. So unless I conceptually understand, unless I conceptually establish in my mind totally that this kind of thing is something that I have to uh, imbibe, the knowledge I have to fix in my mind. Till that, without that, the meditation is useless, right? That is why we never try to do meditation unless the basic structure has been understood by us. So in Vedanta, we don't start meditation from the first day itself. In other systems, they will start Vipassana or any kind of meditation right from the first day itself. So what are you doing? You're just secluding yourself. So therefore, to do this, we have the different Vedic system and Vedantic system as well as the yoga system. Yoga is also part, they are not different, but each enumerates certain different thought patterns or angles that we would not have thought about. Just like, for example, let me give you the morning meditation. So whenever you do this morning meditation, what do? You imbibe the thought that you have learned earlier into your meditation, that I am that Atma, I am that highest being, I establish myself into that. And what time do you do? Early in the morning, right? Brahm Muhurt. So Brahm Muhurt is the best because whatever thoughts that you had previous day, whatever problems you had in the previous day, they are solved by you in your state of deep sleep. Because within that state also the consciousness is there, and in the latent part, in the earlier in the dream state, all of your problems are solved because you are connected to a higher truth. You are away from the distractions of the world. So that early morning 4:30 time period is what they call in scientific terms also, when your mind is in the alpha and theta state. So that is the state when your mind is very powerful. The highest thoughts are coming to you from Hiranyagarbha. Your own thoughts are suppressed. Your own thoughts have not started disturbing you till then. Right. So in that moment, if you just let that higher thought come to you, then what it will do, if you are inclined towards karma, then it will give you the solution of all your problems that you thought earlier. Hmm? So when you do that, the meditation, it will give you all those solutions of your vyavhara also, all the transactions that you do in the world, and all kinds of spiritual answers also that you have ever sought. They will come to you. Then what happens? You need to fix that thought. So that is why you drink a glass of water, you do jala sankalpam. So before any yajna also, you do sankalpa with the water, because jal is the most purest form of thing that we imbibe into our body from outside, and therefore also jala, water, has its own memory. So when you have done your sankalpa in your mind, when whatever you have done in your morning meditation, you fix that sankalpa into the water. So you hold that glass of water in front of you and you meditate and you let that thought uh, percolate, that just a feeling, just a pure thought, you let percolate into that water, and that will establish, your water molecules will remember that thought, and when you imbibe it, it will water is there in all parts of your body. So that thing that you have only conceptually, which you might tend to forget later on, that water fixes that into you, right? And therefore you drink that water. And then you do the pranayam. So pranayam also we'll discuss when we are looking at this Ashtanga Yoga. But if you remember that pranayam has two aspects. Pranayam has two aspects. First is the initial, the part of pranayam that tends to calm your mind. So you do the anulom vilom, or you do the bhastrika. You hold your breath outwards, then you hold the breath inwards, and then finally you do the just breathe in slowly, calmly, hold the breath and let it out to calm your mind, and then you do the meditation, right? So that we'll discuss when we are going into the uh, part. But the second part of pranayam is the other exercise which tends to activate you. So when you do the kapalbhati, so that when you do that, then you do that after the meditation, after drinking water, after maybe doing some walking or exercise, then you do that, so that whatever sankalpa you have put into your body, that sankalpa gets invigorated by your prana shakti. Your prana shakti begins moving at a fast pace, right? And then because of that, the prana shakti has to be activated by your sankalpa so that it can fulfill your sankalpa, right? So therefore, if it is a spiritual sankalpa, it will keep you spiritually connected to all the objects around you, and therefore you can utilize that power of sankalpa in the most efficacious manner, right? So in this way, you can use your meditation to a more productive and effective means in the daytime. Hmm? So then when we come to the yoga. So yoga has a long detail of how the thoughts are, what are the nature of the thoughts, what are the different nature of the thoughts. But then we start with the eightfold path, the eight parts of yoga. So where that is where the actual sadhana begins. So that is why this part is given in the second chapter of the Yoga Sutras. That is called the sadhana path. So where the sadhana. That is why we're taking it, because this talk is about sadhana. So when we look at this sadhana path, there we see first of all the Ashtanga Yoga. So what are the eight sections of Ashtanga Yoga? Yama, Niyam, Asan. I'll just write the rest also. Asan, Pranayam. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. Yeah. So these are the eightfold sections of the or the practices of the system of yoga. So this Ashtang Yoga, Yama Niyam, Asan Pranayam, Pratyahar Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. Okay. So these in turn are again divided into other further sub-disciplines. I have said them in earlier classes. Can anyone remember or can anyone tell me what are the five yamas? पांचों यम क्या होते हैं? कोई बता सकता है? Can anyone try? शिल्पा जी, स्वरूपा, मोनिका, एनीवन? पांच यम क्या होते हैं? Okay, so try to remember these because these are very, very important parts of the system. Huh? So yam, niyam, asan, pranayam you've learned, but this parts of that you have to also remember, right? So if you say the yama, so yama is the basically the behavior or the vyavahara that you do uh, internally. Huh? In that you have to do the internal strengthening of your powers. So satya, hinsa, brahmacharya, aste, aparigraha. So these are the interactions that you have to build within the emotions that you have to build within you. Huh? So therefore, uh, when you apply this internally, it reflects in your behavior outside. And niyam is basically only internal. It's so it stays with you as your habit. Huh? So if you niyam is basically a habit. So yama is how to control yourself. संयम करना अपने आप को संयमित करना. So yama, if you see that, you can say that yama is more about how self-control, right? So if you say satya, so satya, always speak the truth, satyam vada. So when you speak the truth, then you have lesser distractions in your state of meditation. Because whenever you do something wrong, whenever you lie, that thing will keep rankling inside your mind. That thing will keep moving in your mind and it will keep disturbing you, right? So of course there are rules for satyam also. So there are still different examples are given to teach about it. Like if some thieves were chasing a person whom they wanted to steal something, and they passed a person and they asked him which way he went. So he told them. So that is not the right way. Huh? So satyam, hitam, priyam, chayat. That is the definition of satya. So satya is what you should say, which should be truthful. Always should strive. Don't say a lie. If you have to say something, then you have to tell the truth. Otherwise, don't say anything. Say, I will not answer. Because it has another aspect, satyam, hitam. It should be beneficial to the person. Don't say a satya to someone that will harm him or that will give him pain. So don't say that, sir. So that is why you break any kind of bad news in a soft way. So you have to say in a hitakari manner, satyam, hitam, and then priyam. It should make the person like you or feel good for you, or it should make that person also it should be good for that person. One is beneficial, other is that will give joy. So we have these two aspects in our shastras, sukha and hita. So the sukh and hit, what is the difference? The difference is sukh can anything can give you sukh, right? It can always there are so many things that you like doing. But we say that you have to discipline yourself also, because something that will give you happiness is not necessarily good for you. So that also you have to factor in. So always hitam is higher. Hitam is always higher, right? So if something is given to you as something that you have to do to discipline yourself but what will happen? It will seem tough. It will seem tough in the beginning, but in the long run, it will help you. So I've covered this in many other points, in many other ways in other classes also. So if you start jogging, you have to keep on increasing. So when you increase the distance, it feels tough in the beginning, waking up early, starting that walking or jogging, and then continuing it for a longer period. But the more you do, the more your stamina builds. The more you are able to, your body becomes stronger, the more you are able to withstand any kind of physical exertion. So a lot of people, they have health problems. So very young age, people have heart attacks. Why is that? Because their body is not fit to withstand the exertion. They haven't exerted themselves earlier. So because they gave up discipline, they are suffering. Yeah. So that because of that, that discipline has to be there. So Satyam Priyam Hitam is the way to follow by doing what is good for you, doing what is beneficial for you, and always speaking the truth so that your mind is not disturbed by those negative waves. No, by those negative waves. So those negative waves should not harm your behavior, your state of meditation, right? So that is Satyam. Then Satya Ahimsa. So Ahimsa is next. So you should be non-harmful towards all the beings in the universe, right? You must have seen in the Shastras, there are a lot of discussions about eating meat and all. So it was never denied. Someone whose it is food is good, can deny that or not eat. If you try to avoid violence, that violence is going to help you keep you a pure mind, right? So therefore, you should not have any negativity for any person's food, because ultimately food is a living thing. Food can never be non-living. Yeah, and therefore you have to be tolerant of that. But if you can avoid, then you try to avoid. You try to avoid all kinds of hinsa. So that always helps your mind to be more stable. Of course, if you have tuned your mind in the best way possible, then nothing can disturb it. No kind of food can disturb it. So therefore, you try to go for a sattvic diet, and that diet is a secondary part of the main part thing is ahimsa. So ahimsa, I should not harm other beings. So whenever I say something angry to a person, that is also hinsa. I try to hurt them verbally, or I do physical violence also. Any kind of negativity, it will harm the person, and it will also create a negative impact in my mind also. Right? So that is why if someone does something wrong to us, we try not to be negative towards that person. We try to understand that person, make that person refrain or stop from doing that thing again and again. And then ultimately we punish him in the right way possible. We cannot become like the other person. So if the other person is violent, we cannot become violent, because violence only begets negativity, and it begets hurt and a cycle. It becomes a cycle of violence, right? So therefore, ahimsa is considered as the one of the highest truths. Huh? But of course, where the person ahead is not understanding, then you are allowed to do the hinsa in the right manner, in the proper manner. Otherwise, no one would fight any war. That is what Krishna said to Arjuna. He said that it is your duty here, because someone has taken away your right. So therefore, you cannot let that person keep doing this kind of adharma. So to stop adharma, you have to fight. So therefore, ahimsa is to refrain from doing any kind of violence where it is not needed, wherever it can be avoided, right? So that will also not create a negative wavelengths in your mind. Yeah. Then you have brahmacharya. So brahmacharya is restraining the senses from too much sense enjoyment, not just in the sense of physical contact, but in the sense of all kinds of involvement with. That is why for a brahmachari, who's the student who is living with his guru in the ashram, he is taught that discipline. They are taught to eat a very little food. They are taught to go and beg for food, or maybe go and arrange the food. They are taught to do seva in the ashram. Today, if we are asked to do a little seva in the ashram, we think like we have done such a big thing. But that is not the real case. So therefore, for us to understand that part of sadhana, that where whenever we are controlling our senses, as I said earlier, tapasya. So tapasya is a big part of that. The more we strengthen our mind, the more we keep it away from the sense objects, the more it strengthens us. So any kind of restriction, it helps us be in control, so that even when we enjoy that object, we are never controlled by the object. The control is with us. Control is never with the object. That is brahmacharya. In a higher sense, brahmacharya means always residing in that thought of Brahman. And that is another sense. But here, when we are looking at Satya Ahimsa Brahmacharya in the yogic sense, in the sense of the Yoga Sutras, there it means basically restraining your senses from being caught up by the objects. Huh? It is very close to, in a sense, to Vairagya also, but Vairagya is total giving up. This is not total giving up. This is first learning to enjoy with discipline. Enjoy, but with discipline. That is why the brahmacharis were basically taught to stay in the school, study there all the time, don't waste time in useless pursuits, so that when they come out, they become disciplined individuals. Today, we have so much of indiscipline because this system we have lost. We are not using anymore. Some people are, but it has become less because we are more enamored by Western education. We think that that is the only thing that needs to be taught. But why can't we teach both? We can teach knowledge. We can teach the modern knowledge also. The ancient knowledge also can support the higher modern knowledge. All of them can come together. But the discipline part is very important. In earlier schools also, no, there was a lot of discipline being taught. But these days, a lot of parents also get upset when the teacher disciplines the child. So that way, that thing is really adding to a lot of negativity, right? So therefore, we have to understand that this brahmacharya has to become a part of our routine. You can apply it to all your daily actions. Then you have asteya. Asteya means non-stealing. Steya means to steal. Asteya means not to steal. So asteya also is whenever you take something that belongs to someone, that also creates a negative thought pattern in your mind. ये किसी और का था, मैं लेके आ गया. This belonged to someone else. I brought it, and therefore I will always have that negative thought. So always enjoy what you have earned with your hard work. Always enjoy what you truly deserve. And also, of course, we say that we should enjoy the least possible, whatever is necessary. The rest we should give back to the world. So therefore, asteya represents that feeling only of not taking another person's property. If you remember Ishavasya Upanishad we did, so there also it starts with that same thing only, no? So ma gridikasya suddhanam, Ishavasya sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena bhunjitaha ma grid kasya suddhanam. So do not desire any other person's wealth, because whose is the wealth? All the wealth belongs to God. So it is not yours to take or steal or hold on to. So therefore, asteya. Then aparigraha. Aparigraha is again whatever you acquire. You acquire a lot of things. But we tend to keep collecting till we have no spaces in our house. Our houses are filled of so much useless stuff, and we hold on to that. It could be useful to someone else, but we don't give it away. So I was watching a video where some family in another country, the person nearby, they left their useless stuff on the road and they went and picked them up. Someone is discarding their stuff and you are collecting there and keeping it in your house. Keep it if you need it, but not just to hoard stuff. Hoarding is not good. Aparigraha. Because Bhagavan says in the Gita also that whatever you need, if you surrender to me, I will take care. So what is yoga shema vahamyaham? So whatever you want to acquire or whatever you want to hold on to, all that I will do. Whenever needed, I will give you whatever is needed. So if we have faith in the Lord, He will give us. Faith in the Lord is what? Faith in also my own surrender to the Lord and my own action. I keep doing my dharma. मैं अपना धर्म को करता रहूं. So when I keep doing my duty, my dharma, then that thing will always help me acquire whatever is needed at the right time. And whatever I acquire, if I give away, then whom am I giving away? I am giving to myself. The whole society, the whole universe is me only. So when I give it back, I am giving it to myself only. And so therefore the society also will be there for me when I need something. So therefore, when I'm giving something, in fact, I'm creating a bigger source for myself. My own earning is this much. The society is so much more. That is why in earlier days you had the barter system. So you could give away one of your stuff and the other person will give their stuff. So that is a one for one transaction. But actually, according to Shastra, if you give away a little bit, society gives you back manifold. So therefore, you always should be prepared for aparigraha. And then you have the next part, which is the niyam. So it is the order is different in the books, but I remember it by the three S's. So I put the three S first. So Shauch, Santoch, Swadhyay, and Tapasya, Ishwar Pranidhan. So Shauch, purity. So I have to have that mental purity, physical purity all the time. That is why, whenever you do a puja or yagya, before doing that, my physical purity has to be there. I cannot do it when I'm physically impure. Any kind of dirt is sticking to me. I have to take a bath, get ready, and do it in the proper manner. I cannot go to the Lord with that impure body. And also the impure mind, right? So even the impure mind, the God will accept. Because impure mind, you offer to the Lord, and the Lord will purify it for you. You are offering because why are you going? A murderer or a thief, they say that why can't he get the same status as someone who is like bodily impure? No, the murderer and thief will probably not go there. He will not go to the temple. He will go if only he has some prayashchit. Only if he feels bad about his action. So then only he will go to the Lord. Otherwise, why will he go there? So therefore, when he goes there, he will be forgiven for his sins, or he will be given some kind of penance or punishment by which he can, do some kind of tapasya for his sins. That is what is the essence of prayashchit. So therefore, when we are looking at shauch, then this shauch has to be the bodily purity also, mental purity. Of course, the most you can do. If there is little bit left, that also the Lord will take care of. But physically, we should be very, very pure as much as possible. So, in this way, that purity in our system is not like the Western system where they think that that mental purity is a person mentally pure, person impure cannot go. They also have the solution to that. No, they go to confide their sins to the priest. So that is the same thing only. So any person can go to the temple. But before that, that purity should be there. So inner purity, outer purity, all of them count. Uh, when I'm internally pure, then my thought will also be towards outer purity. So I have to maintain both. Outer purity is always a reflection of inner purity. So both will naturally come together. But if there is something lacking inside, that the Lord will correct if I am willing to surrender. If not, then why will he do? So therefore, Shauch is a very essential aspect of our sadhana. And the more our surroundings are clean, more I am also clean, then during meditation, I will not be disturbed, right? Otherwise, I will keep thinking of that thing that I have to do. So that is why we have to be very, very careful about that. And then Shauch, then Santosh. Second is Santosh of the Niyam. So this Niyam also has to be maintained by being satisfied with what I have. So Santosh is in a higher sense. What does Santosh mean? Santosh means that whatever I am enjoying, I enjoy with thankfulness to the Lord. And whatever I am enjoying, I should also be willing to offer to all the people around me because their joy is my joy. So Santosh lets us be satisfied with what we have, enjoy what we have, and never be disturbed by what we don't have. Never be disturbed by what we don't have. So that is the essence of Santosh. So therefore, for Santosh, I have to slowly learn to let go of all the kind of extra desires that I have of not being satisfied with what I have. So that is the essence of Santosh. Then what was the next? Shauch, Santosh, Swadhyay. Constantly I have to study. I have to keep studying the scriptures. So therefore daily I have to allocate some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour to maybe reading a few lines of the scriptures. Every time I read, it will give me a positive thought. Something to use in my daily activities, something to go through the day with a more positive aspect. I read any mantra, read any shlokas, understand its meaning. If you have more time, keep reading a scripture. You will always see that the persons who regularly read the Ramayana or do the reading of different scriptures, they are more they have more happy state of mind, and they are more simpler also, they are more positive. So that always happens. So Swadhyay helps us first of all to know about what scripture is teaching me, what I have to know about my nature, and also about how I have to establish myself into it. But in a more literal sense, it means knowing more about my culture, my customs, and therefore applying it to my vyavhara in the world, my transaction in the world. So therefore, Swadhyaya is something that is has to be a daily part of my routine. So if I don't do that, then again same thing. When I sit in meditation, my thought will be in useless things. Otherwise, if I have studied a good book or a good verse, my thought will go there. I will try to meditate on that. So my initial study, that is Shravanam, it tends to get more stronger in the state of meditation where you do the manana. Nididhyasanam is the final part. So in meditation, there are three stages. First, the outer study, Shravanam, inner thought process, which is Mananam, understanding the knowledge and fixing it by logic. And then finally, Nididhyasanam, fixing that thought so that it becomes unshakable. Hmm. So Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. These are the three states in another sense of our sadhana. So now next is Shoch, Santosh, Swadhyay, then Tapasya. So Tapasya we have seen earlier also. Tapasya is holding on to a higher thought. Holding on to a higher thought in spite of all obstacles. That is tapasya. So therefore, tapasya means whenever whatever normal things that I do, whenever I let wander my mind, let it enjoy anything that it likes, I have to learn to restrain it. Learn to offer it to the Lord. Learn to offer my insistences, my weaknesses, my shortcomings to the Lord. So when I do that, then through tapasya, I am able to become stronger. The more I do tapasya, all the things in all the scriptures, you would see that the examples that are there for us, like Maryada Purushottam Ram, Sita Ma, all showed the resilience and tapasya that they had to bear. They went to the jungle just to honor the word of their father. And they suffered through that. They came back and ruled also. During that time also, they suffered. They suffered because praja, the people had certain expectations for them, and so they are willing to let go of their personal comfort and serve the people. So that is the essence of tapasya again. Tapasya means being very, very strong, all kinds of outer influences, right? And then last is Ishwar Pranidhan. Always Ishwar ko samarpan karna hai. Surrender to Ishwara, surrender to the highest power. Because we are on our own, are not capable of doing anything. It is the Lord's grace, it is the Lord's power, it is the Lord's blessings that take us through anything. Whenever we try to control a thought, it comes back rushing in again and again. But when I ask my Lord, I offer that thought to my Lord, then the Lord takes care of it. He lets us go into that state, right? So therefore, tapasya and Ishwar Pranidhan. So these are the five. Then Yaman, these are Yama we have covered, Niyam we have covered. So they tend to stabilize the mind. Then Asan. Asan is what? Sthiram Sukham Asanam. That is the definition in the Yoga Sutra. So I have to be stable, still. So sit in a comfortable pose. While meditation, you don't have to do all the different angled poses and all that. That is not the asanam for the meditational practice. Those are for strengthening your body, right? So that you don't do while meditating. You do earlier. So that your body becomes strong and resilient, so that when you do all those other asanas, they are also necessary. You do them, then you are able to take your body to different shapes and maybe different positions, so that when the body is trained by those positions, then you are able to hold on. So that makes your muscles stronger, right? So when you do exercise regularly, you can sleep well, you can relax well. Because why? Because your muscles are strong. Otherwise, your body won't be able to take the weight of your own body. Whichever side you try to lie down, that side will start hurting after some time, or it will become senseless, or it will start to ring. So therefore, whatever kind of exercise you do, when you strengthen your body with it, that your body becomes stronger. So that if you do these asanams daily, the difficult ones, then final the sthir sukham asanam that you sit in while meditating, you will be able to sit for longer. Will be able to sit for longer. So therefore, you sit in a Padmasan or in the Sukhasan, whichever asan you sit for meditation. But before that, the preparation should be that all the other asanas also should be done. So while meditating, the sthira asana, but before that, or you can do later also, the other asana, so that your body is strong. So that is asana. Then the pranayam. So pranayam, I explained earlier also, pranayam has two parts. The first is the part where the mind is stabilized, because the thoughts are going to be rushing in while meditating. So I have to control. So when I do pranayam, first we do the anulom vilom, anulom vilom, and then I hold my breath outside, then I hold it inside. So in all of that, I tend to visualize my visualize my knowledge as a thought, whatever knowledge I have learned. So when I do the pranayam, I just say, if I do anulom vilom, then I take the breath through the left nostril, and I take it deep down so I can feel it at the base of my spine. So when I do that breath, when it's going down there, I chant the Gayatri mantra. Om bhu bhuvasva tat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimai dhiyo yo na prachodaya. So that thought is moving me. That thought is moving my breath, right? So therefore, when I'm doing that thought, otherwise also when I'm just normally without that chanting also, when I'm doing that pranayam, then I'm counting those breaths. So when I count them, then in that counting also, I tend to lose sight of the other thoughts. They disturb me less, right? So therefore, when I do this pranayam, my thoughts are focused more. My focus is more now on my breath. So when I'm focused on my breath, I tend to be less disturbed about the other outer thoughts, and therefore I am able to meditate better. So that is how we do the first initial pranayam. When now we put our bhava. So bhava, as I said, you are taking the breath inside. So you chant the Gayatri mantra. Then Then you do the three mantras of pranayam, the pranayam mantra. The three parts. One pranayam mantra, three parts. So first part is what? Om bhu, Om bhuva, Om swaha, Om maha, Om jana, Om tapa, Om satyam. So I am moving myself from the lower worlds to the higher world. From the Om bhu. Bhu is the Prithvi Tattva. That is the, or you can say the physical aspect, the physical body also you can say. So I am moving beyond the grip of other physical objects of the physical world. I am giving up all attachments there. Then Om Bhuva. Bhuva is the Antariksh, the middle realm or the realm of prana. So that prana, I am moving beyond the grip of prana. I am saying I am something beyond prana. And then Om Swaha. Swaha is the higher realm, Swarga. So that is represented by the mind, Manaha. So I am moving to the realm of the Manaha. Then Om Swaha. Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha, Om Maha. Maha is the interconnecting world of the heart, where I am connected to the higher worlds, the higher world of my essence, Satchit Anand Swarupa, and also to the lower worlds. So I move to that higher world and I move into the realm of Maha. Maha is what? Mahad Buddhi, where the blueprint for the whole universe exists. And then I go to Jana, Tapa, and Satyam. Jana represents Jana represents Anandaha, Tapaha represents uh, Chit, and Satyam represents Sat. So Sat, Chit, Anand are the three words, the three highest words. So I move from the lowest to the highest words, and then I establish that thought in my head. So for the next part, I focus on my head. So there I do the Gayatri mantra. So Om Bhuva, Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam, Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodaya. So may that highest consciousness illumine my mind, and may that thought remain fixed, and may I be able to hold on to that always. May my intellect always grow with that high. Prachodaya, always grow. And then finally, with that illuminated intellect, I bring that thought to the world. I bring it back. So, Om Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhu Bhuva Swarom. So, Apa Jyoti Raso Satchitanand. That higher knowledge that I acquired, Amritam, which is immortal, which gives me the knowledge of my own immortal nature. Bhu Bhuva Om Bhu Bhuva Swarom. I bring it to the lower realms of Bhu Bhuva and Swaha. The mind, the pranaha, and the physical. The physical, so the subtle, and the causal bodies, right? You can say in that way also. So I bring it down and then I finally release the breath. So that is the last part again with the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. So remember that when doing the pranayama. At least once you have to do it in this way. If you do more practice, then those three mantras that I'm talking about, you can increase it to doing all of this twice while holding the breath. And you can also increase it to doing thrice. Maybe some may do even more than that, but three is good. If you can do three, all the three mantras thrice, right? So therefore pranayam, by that you regulate your mind and you regulate your thought process into a higher thought. So pranayam associated with the mantras takes you towards that state of meditation even faster. And then finally, when you hold your breath outwards, what does that signify? That I am giving up my sense of ego and I am merging myself into the Lord, the higher Lord. And then finally, when you take your breath back in, the bhava should be what? That the Lord has entered me and he has replaced all of me. So therefore, everything is the Lord only. I no longer remain. So in both cases, the same end is reached. But first is the ego merges into the Lord. And the second is the Lord enters into me and makes me one with him. Yeah. So that is the next, that is the pranayama. So after that, you do the normal routine of the what we call dhyana samadhi or the chanting or whatever you do for that samadhi. So next is asan pranayam, yam niyam asan pranayam pratyahar dhyan dharana samadhi. So pratyahar is next. So pratyahar is taking all my sense organs inward. जैसे कछुआ अपने अंगों को समेट लेता है, it is said, that is how it is expressed. Just like a tortoise goes back into its shell. So same way I withdraw my sense organs back into me so that they don't disturb me anymore, so that they don't move towards the outer objects, which we saw in the earlier sadhana part when we saw about the adhikara part, in the sadhana chat sampatti, that is the dhamma. Shama, Dhamma, Uprati, Titiksha, we saw, no? So, Dhamma. So, that is essentially the same. So, therefore, Pratyahar represents drawing all my sense organs inward, letting them remove themselves from their respective fields of endeavor, drawing them away from the sense objects and focusing inwards. And then, Dhyan. Pratyahar, Dhyan. Sorry, dharna. So dharna, I have to fix my mind into that higher thought that I am looking to go inwards and remove myself from the world. So therefore, the world is no longer existing. Through negating all the names and forms, I remove myself from the outer world. And then dhyanam is the next stage. The next stage in dhyanam. Initially, first is the Saguna Dhyanam. So I bring into my thought the highest deity, the one who worship, the one who is my Ishtadeva, and I bring that and I focus on all the leelas of the Lord, all the things that he has done. Maybe select one at a time, not all of them together, and I focus on the form of the Lord. And if, as I become more and more mature in my meditation, then maybe some things the Lord will reveal about his form that only the rishis have said in the Shastras. I will be able to see them myself also. Right? So therefore, I focus on the Saguna Rupa of the Lord. And then finally, I focus back on the Nirguna Rupa also, the essence, because when I remove the form of the Lord, then what do I see? He's still there. He has gone nowhere. He's still there. He's still there everywhere because he's there as my antaryami, antahayamayati iti, the one who controls me from inside, the one who knows all my thoughts, the one who sees all my actions, and the one who gives me accordingly the karma phalam for my actions. So he's still there. So he's still as the there we say in the and first is the sagun sakar, then sagun nirakar. He's Saguna. You can sense Ishvara. You can sense you sensing Ishvara. You can sense the separation. And yet you can move closer to the oneness. So that Sagun Niraka represents the Antaryami aspect of the Lord. And then finally you move towards the Samadhi, which is again of different kinds, but the ultimate Samadhi is Nirguna Samadhi. Right? So when you do the ultimate Samadhi, the Nirguna Samadhi, then you move into the state whereby you are able to understand firstly that the Saguna is also the Lord, all the thoughts, all the aspects that you see. If I say something from my own experience, something that internally something that a thought that I realized. So if you say Om Suranatmaka Jagat Bhava. So this Jagat Bhava is of the nature of Suranatmaka. So therefore all the thoughts that I see, all the thoughts are creating different objects in the world that I see. That is also Sagun Brahma. Then Om Asfuranatmak Brahma Bhava. So this Asfuranam Bhava is the Brahma Bhava. The when all thoughts are merged back. And then finally Suran Asfurana Ekatvam Anupashyata. So that thoughtlessness and that thoughtfulness, both of them together are that Brahman only. And that their oneness I have to see. So therefore in the world also, no, I have to see the oneness in the manyness. If I try to make everything as uniform, then the world will lose its charm. The world will in fact lose its structure. So we don't believe in making everyone uniform. We don't believe in making everyone following the same path, same principles, everything. No, we like to have understand that everyone there is different variety of people in the world. Everyone have their own method of sadhana. So we recognize that. So that Sfuranam Asfuranam Ekatva Anupashyam represents that oneness. So in this way, in the state of Samadhi, I tend to move that to that state of mind, and whereby I am able to go into that state where I can stay in that focused state without any kind of disturbance, without any kind of movement. And when I come out of that, I am in that state always without any kind of negativity. I carry that into my transactions in the world, right? So in this way, we do that. So we could go on and on, but we covered the basics here. So it is 8:55. Shall we do a short meditation? It will take 10-15 minutes, so maybe a bit extra. Or do we want to do it in the next class? Shilpa ji, Swarupa ji.
We can do it today only. Today a good day, na?
Okay. Okay then. Let's do it today. So as just watch my words, but try to internalize at your own end. I will not do everything because I'll be talking. So then first we close our eyes, meditate on the Lord. Shuklam Bharam Dharam Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturbhuja Prasanna Vadanam Jai Sarva Vigna Prashantaye. Meditate on the Lord. Take deep breath 5 times. Now chant Om 3 times. You close your ears so you can feel the noise ringing in your ears. Om. Om. Then pranayam. Take the deep breath in with the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhu Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Hold your breath at the base. Take it upwards. Om Bhu Om Bhuva Om Swaha Om Maha Om Jana Om Tapa Om Satyam. Meditate on the mind and the intellect. Om Bhu तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. Now bring it slowly downwards. Om Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhu Bhuva Swaro. And now let the breath out. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. And now you chant some mantras. While chanting all these mantras, you focus on your whole body. Try to do a thought massage with your body, just like you are massaging your own body with your thoughts. Huh? Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsthita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Feel the vibration. Now chant Om in first outwardly. Om. Om. Keep chanting Om mentally. Now try to listen. See if you can hear the sounds within you. Listen to Om moving within you without chanting mentally also. Try to listen. Just listen. Stay in that thought. Stay with that higher thought. Visualize what you have learned. Visualize. Om. मयि एव सकलं जातं मयि सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं मयि सर्वं लयं याति तद ब्रह्म अद्वयम् अस्म्यहम्. Visualize yourself as everything. Visualize everything within you. Nothing is outside you. Om Maya eva sakalam jatam. Within me, everything arises. Everything arises from my source. I am the source of everything. Mayi sarvam pratishtitam. Everything is established in me. सब कुछ मुझ पे ही आश्रित है. सब कुछ मेरे पे ही दिख रहा है. Everything is seen upon me. I am the Adhishtanam Brahma. I am Atma. Maya Sakalam Jat. Maya Sarvam Pratishthita. Maya Sarvam Layam Yati. Everything merges back into me. Maya Sarvam Layam Yati. सब कुछ मुझ में ही घुल रहा है। ओम ओम ओम। I am the infinite, the soul, without any limitations, of the nature of Sat. All existence stems from me, of the nature of Chit. All consciousness resides within me. I am the nature of Ananda. All joy is mine and mine alone. Om, Om. Feel the vibrations in every part of your body. Watch that higher thought, that Brahman, Om, that Brahman I am, Om, Aham Brahmasmi, Om, Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. Remove away all the conditionings, the mind, body. I am the seer, the one who is watching all of this. I am watching my mind. I am watching my breath. I am watching my body. Om, Om, Om. I am not the mind, ना मैं मन हूँ, ना मैं बुद्धि हूँ, ना मैं अहंकार हूँ, ना ही मैं चित्त हूँ। मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्तानि नाहम चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवम शिवम। न मैं कान हूँ, न जिह्वा, न नासिका, न ही नेत्र हूँ। मैं ना तो आकाश हूँ, न धरती, न अग्नि, न वायु। मैं केवल चेतना हूँ, ब्रह्म रूप, अनादि, अनंत, 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 अमर। मैं ना तो प्राण चेतना हूँ, न पंच वायु हूँ। मैं ना तो सप्त धातु हूँ, न ही शरीर के पंच कोश हूँ। मैं न वाणी हूँ, न हाथ हूँ, न पैर हूँ, न गुदा, न उपस्थ। मैं केवल चेतना हूँ, अनादि, अनंत, अमर, चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। किसी से मुझे वैर नहीं, न ही किसी से प्रेम है, न लोभ, न मोह, न अभिमान, न ईर्ष्या। न मैं धर्म हूँ, न अधर्म, न धन, न लालसा, न मोह। केवल चेतना हूँ, अनादि, अनंत, अमर, चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। न पुण्य हूँ, न पाप हूँ, न सुख हूँ, न दुख हूँ। न मैं मंत्र हूँ, न तीर्थ, न ज्ञान, न यज्ञ, न भोजन, न भोज्य, और न ही मैं भोगता हूँ। बस शुद्ध चेतना चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद। न मृत्यु का भय है, न जाति का भेद, न कोई पिता है, न माता, न ही मैं कभी जन्मा था। न तो मेरा भाई है, न मित्र, न शत्रु, न गुरु, न शिष्य। मैं केवल शुद्ध चेतना चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। निर्विकार हूं मैं, निर्विकल्प हूं, सर्व इंद्रियों से पृथक हूं, न कल्पनीय हूं, न आसक्ति हूं, न ही मुक्ति हूं। मैं केवल शुद्ध चेतना हूं, चिदानंद रूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद शिवोहम। ओम। focused on this thought for a few minutes. Stay awake, stay alert. Um, um, um. Slowly come back, slowly come back, easily, easily. Bring your hands together. Thank the Lord. Thank Him for being with you all the time. धन्य है हम जो ईश्वर का हमें अनुग्रह प्राप्त हो. Rub your hands together now. Rub them hard. Rub your hands. Rub it till they become warm. Now apply to your eyes. Apply your hand to your eyes. Om. 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 Now slowly take your hands away from your eyes and slowly, slowly open your eyes. Okay. So we are ending the meditation here. You can continue it for longer later. I've just given the concept. So we can. So now everyone is alert.
Yes.
Okay. So then we'll wind up the class for today then. Uh, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Tat Sat.